I want to your fans and the fans of the band, a little bit of like back history to you, a little bit, and learn a little bit about, you didn't just wake up one day and walk on a tour bus and start playing with
No,
falling in
but
reverse.
close to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of close to that actually.
for real?
Yeah. So, I played guitar. I'm trying to think how long I played guitar at that point. I don't know, a few years for sure, maybe 6, 7 years, something like that.
Okay.
Um, and this is 2013, I believe, or 2014. I moved out to Anaheim. This dude named John saw me on Facebook. He saw some like videos I uploaded or whatever, and he was like, "Hey, will you um, be a guitar player in my band, and I'll pay your rent?" And I was working at the factory job where I felt the boob shake, and I was like, I talked to the boss. I was like, "Dude, I'm moving. I'm gonna try to play music for a living." And he was like, "Yeah, the job's here if you come back," kind of thing. So I was like, "All right, sick. I'm out later." Moved out there. I'll never forget this, man. It was the first practice, and the singer John, he was not there. It was just the band. So I just met these guys. Like, what's up? What's up? I'm like dialing in my tone. I'm just kind of noodling or whatever. And I turned around and they were all staring at me. And I was like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "To play music." What? And they were like, "No, like what? What do you mean?" I was like, "We're going on tour and stuff, right?" And they're like, "No, no, no, no. You're too good to be in this band. You shouldn't be in this band." And I was like, "Ooh." It's the first practice. It was like the first engagement with them, and I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, you're too good to be in this band." So, and they told me they were like, "We're never gonna tour and stuff. Like that's not what this is."
What was it, cover band?
Well, the guy told me to get me to move to LA. He said we are gonna like go tour with We Came as Romans and all these bands, but it was just like he was blowing smoke
You
up my
moved to
ass.
LA for this.
I drove to LA for this. Yeah, I moved. Yeah, I moved. Drove cross country from Louisville, Kentucky to LA, 2 days. Within day four, they're like, "Why are you here again?" "Yeah, this ain't what you thought it was." So I was like, "Great." So then I was out there working at Guitar Center, Orange County, with Ernie from Whitechapel, who drums for Whitechapel now. Or I'm sorry, Suicide Silence. He did drum for Whitechapel. And yeah, I was just working at Guitar Center out there, just like, I mean, eating off the dollar menu, like just struggling. And Ryan Seaman, the old drummer of this band, hit up John and was like, "Hey, we need a fill-in bass player. Do you know anybody?" John's like, "I'll do it." So John went to Mates out in LA, started practicing with Falling, and was just like, "Yeah, you want to come to practice one day?" So I came. Me and Ronnie met, immediately broed out over skateboarding, actually. So he grew up skateboarding. I did too. That was like what I did was skateboarding. I was a guitar player second. So yeah, we broed out, and then I befriended everyone in the band, and then come a year later, by that point I'd moved back home to Louisville. I just had no money to stay out there. I was too broke, and living back at home. And Ronnie called me and was just like, "Hey man, I think you know why I'm calling you." And I was like, "Yeah, I think I do." And he's like, "You in?" I'm like, "I'm in." And that was it. He sent me 27 songs to learn in like 2 weeks before a headliner tour,
What year was that?
2015.
Jeez.
So I'd only played 4 or 5 local shows ever in my life before this band. So I never did a van tour. I never, you know what I mean? It was like played at a Spinelli's Pizzeria downtown Louisville, played a VFW hall or something, whatever it was. I don't even remember at this point. Played Chain Reaction once. That was like the pinnacle. And then I was in this band
So
doing headlining.
what inspired you to play guitar?
Honestly, I wasn't a big music guy. I had a friend named Brad Hall, still do, still friends with him. We kind of did what each other did. So I started skating. He went and bought a skateboard. He tries out for the basketball team. I try out for the basketball team. That was just kind of what we did. He bought a guitar one day. Was taking lessons for a few weeks. He was playing Green Day, like Brain Stew, I think it was. And it just like blew my mind. You know, and I was like, "This is the sickest thing ever." So I'm like, "Mom, buy me a guitar." Like, that's pretty much how it went down. She bought me some piece of crap. It might have been my dad, actually. Regardless, it was like some Telecaster knockoff.
Yeah.
Just terrible. It was called JBP, JB Player. Telecaster was my first guitar. Then they bought me a Fender Strat for Christmas a few months later. Signed me up for lessons. Within, I would say, 6 or 7 months, I was playing like Yngwie Malmsteen songs.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, I took it like pretty seriously. It was like 4 months in, I think. I thought Hendrix was like, that was as good as guitar got. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I grew up in a really small town, actually outside of Louisville, but like I gotta say Louisville because no one knows. But grew up in a small farm town. There's no musicians there. I don't have like I have like 5 friends. My graduating class is like 30 people. You know, it's a super small town. It's a farm town. And then um, I walk into lessons one day, and my teacher had like new posters on the wall, and there was a poster of Ingve wearing some like tight leather pants in front of like a Lambo, you know. And I'm like, who's this clown? And he's like, you don't know this guy? And I'm like, no. He's like, bro, you got to hear this guy. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, man. Go to school. A couple days later, Ingve was on the cover of like a Guitar World. And my friend Brad was like, dude, have you heard this guy? And I'm like, no, I just saw this guy like a couple days ago. And he's like, you have to hear this guy. Like, it's unbelievable. So when you hear like Hendrix, it's a lot of like pentatonic and kind of bluesy stuff with like, you know, like wah pedals and like cool effects. But like, it's not the most difficult material. It's definitely cool, but it's not like technically challenging.
Yeah.
So I was already playing that stuff like it was nothing. I hear Ingve. Actually, I went to lesson that following week, that Saturday, and my teacher's like, "Oh, I brought you. I can't remember what album it is. It's whatever album has Trilogy Suite Opus 5 on it." And he's like, "Listen to this song. Like when you get in your car after the lesson, listen to that song." Plugged it in, it's like just immediately, and I was just like, "Yo, what?" Like, yeah. I mean, it was like I couldn't even comprehend what was going on, and I was just like, "Oh my God, dude!" And I listened to that album like over and over, like obsessed. Like I would wake up for school at 6 a.m. and like throw my headphones on and just sit there and be like, what is happening? I couldn't comprehend what was going on, you know?
Yeah.
Like arpeggios, sweep picking. It was so fast, like I didn't know what was I just couldn't comprehend it. So I went to my teacher and I was like, I want to play like that. And he's like, well, good luck. Like you got a lot ahead of you. And within like 3 or 4 months of that, I could play Far Beyond the Sun, like note for note. I could play Black Star note for note. And he was just like, yeah, you got it, dude. Like whatever it is, like you have it, you know.
What inspired? Like I've noticed with you that you don't really like half-ass anything really. You have this thing like you want to figure it out to the perfection of that. Were you always that driven to like
N- Uh,
if I'm
with
gonna
some,
do it, I
with,
want to do the best at it.
yes, with stuff I'm interested in, of course. Like I failed every class in high school pretty much, except for like history.
It's like you're the best version of ADD. You're not ADD, but you're like
Yeah.
I want to figure it
So it's
out.
like math F, English D, you know, whatever, PE 98, history 98, you know, this class F, like, because I was just like, yeah, I'm not into this. Neutrinos, I don't care. Whatever. With the powerhouse of the cell, I don't care about this stuff. Like math, I don't care. But history, I was like, oh, I'm into this. So I'm gonna learn like everything about Egypt or whatever. So I would like literally crush in those classes, like literally get 100% or like high 90s. But then the ones that I wasn't interested in, I was like, I'm not doing this. So yeah, to answer your question, the stuff I am interested in, I do take seriously for sure.
So when you what size rooms was Falling playing when you went with them?
Um, I would say at that point, probably 750 to 1100 cap, maybe 1200.
Okay, so club.
Somewhere, yeah, clubs, somewhere in that range. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to go back and look, but I would say around give or take 1,000.
Bus, van?
Bus. One
Okay.
bus, crew and band on the bus.
Okay.
You know, 13, 14 people, whatever it
Okay.
is. Yep. And now it's graduated to huge sheds, arenas. I don't know, we had like 5 buses or something like that.
Do you remember that first gig you played with it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was Phoenix.
Yeah?
It was a nightmare.
Why?
My guitar tech was an idiot. I'm not making this up, dude. This is insane. It was, I don't remember what venue it was. It was either Phoenix or Albuquerque. I always get them confused. But dude, this guy, I mean, we were supposed to go on, let's just say at 9 o'clock. It's like 9:35. We're still not on stage. The guy's like, I can't, because right before we hit the intro track, I have no guitar. I have no guitar. I had no guitar. Nothing's coming out. Like nothing. And he's just panicking, running around. 35 minutes of him trying to troubleshoot. Lo and behold, Zach, our bass player at the time, was like, I'm gonna go see what's up. Like, what is this guy doing? Walks over and he goes, hey man, on switch. Never turned the thing on. Literally hit the on switch. And I'm like, I'm good. So then we go out Now here's the nightmare. That's already bad enough going like 35 minutes late on stage. That's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah. It's a whole set.
For some bands, yeah. For the intro bands and stuff. So we go on super late. I had an Axe FX2 at the time. I had a super tight metal rhythm tone with like high noise gate, like extremely aggressive noise gate. I had like this silky 80s Van Halen high gain lead with like little delay, chorus, reverb, whatever, right? Now he didn't tell me, I don't know if he did this on purpose or by mistake, but he copy and pasted my rhythm tone to my lead tone. So I have like lead tone, oh, I'm sorry, I have rhythm tone, lead tone, clean channel. That's the only three I have. He copied it to rhythm tone, clean. So then Ronnie introduces me to the band, or to the crowd rather. My new guitar player, Christian. He's like, I want you to do a guitar solo. So I'm like, okay. All right, boom, hit it. I go to hit that lead and I start ripping and it sounds like dog shit. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I literally start staring at my fingers and I'm like, no, I'm doing it right. Like, what's going on here? I couldn't figure out what's going. So then after the show, actually Ronnie, like after the solo, I just like hit some bend and like got out of it and I looked at him and he was like, what was that? And I was so embarrassed, man. I was so embarrassed. It was like the worst thing that could have happened. So then, I don't know, whatever, a couple songs later, I have another solo. I go to hit that lead tone and I'm looking down at it and I noticed that the preset name is the same. So I was like, this dude switched my presets. So then after the show, I was like, dude, what did you do to my presets? And he's like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's like a rhythm and rhythm or something. And I was just like, you didn't switch it back to lead? And he's like, no. And then we went on 35 minutes later. I was like, hey man, you're fired. Sorry. So we fired him day one, show one. That was my first introduction to this band. Just like trial by fire. Like the set was long too. It was like 22 songs or something. Like he had me learn 27 songs in 2 weeks, I believe it was.
How do you learn 27 songs in 2 weeks, bro?
Dude, yeah, well, luckily a lot of it's like power chord based, traditional chord structures, you know. Some of it's riffy. There's like a lot of like tech metalcore riffs,
Yep.
which oddly enough was easier for me because I grew up playing like at that point I was into like Necrophagist and like Psychroptic and these like tech metal bands. So that was like up my alley. I would struggle with like Bad Girls Club, like the poppy stuff more than I would the riffy like crazy stuff, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah. But the way I did it was I would quite genuinely listen to those songs all day, every day, like nonstop, which drives you crazy. But like if I go to the gym, they're in my headphones. If I'm driving somewhere, if I'm cooking food, they're on the iPad or whatever. Like at all times, those songs were being played. Flying to LA to rehearse, they're being played. When I get to the hotel, they're being played until I go to bed. When I wake up, they're starting to be. So it's like learning the songs by heart before I even touch a guitar with the band is essentially how I did it. And there were a couple things, like a couple solos that the previous guitar player, Jackie, he's an amazing guitar player. I just hit him up and I was like, dude, how do you play this part of this? Like, I can't figure it out. He just like, oh, it's this. I'm like, oh, sick. And so he was really cool about like integrating me and not being like a dickhead about it, you know.
Yeah.
He was a really nice guy. So he helped out a little bit. And then Derek, guitar player at the time, he showed me anything that I couldn't pick up on. But because, you know, sometimes it gets lost in the mix, you just can't tell what's happening. And but that was pretty much my method, was just non-stop listening to those songs, especially the ones that you struggle with. You want it to be muscle memory. Like now, like I told you, we don't rehearse. Well, the reason for that is because I'll listen to the song 7,000 times. So I know the song before I even touch an instrument. I know how to play it. Like I'll pick the guitar up and go, okay, yeah, okay, there's the chord, got it. Like I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my method.
Wow.
Yeah.
So going into you're doing clubs, and then from clubs you quickly went to, I'm sure, sheds after that.
It was clubs up until, I'm trying to think. We did a tour with A Day to Remember in 2018, and they were way big. They're about this size at that time. So were we main support. It was us, Papa Roach, and them, I think. Someone else opened, I can't remember. That was the introduction to like arenas and amphitheaters, sheds. But yeah, so I actually left the band and came back right after COVID, and we still played bigger venues, so like maybe 3,000 cap or something like that, but still like club size shows. And then yeah, just each song got bigger and bigger and bigger, like substantially. So it was like within like 3 songs, we're playing arenas and sheds.
Can you see a specific point to where it like
Yeah, Popular Monster, which was I wasn't in the band when that came out. Ronnie sent me that song the day before it came out, uh, and I replied to him. I was like, "This is going to be your biggest song you've ever had," and he's like, "For real?" Because he not that he didn't believe in it, but he's just like, "Oh, it's not going to do that well on radio. There's screaming, there's a breakdown, there's double kick, and it's like this is not a radio song. It like dominated, you know
yeah.
that was the real point. I mean, they had the band was on an upward trajectory, but when it hit that song, it was like boom, like it took off, and then each song after that was just
Yeah.
the same kind of deal.
What do you feel like was the hardest learning curve going from like, because, bro, going from nothing to bust with a guitar tech is like a massive
Yeah,
step. Like,
yeah, I have some guilt about that sometimes because I grew up with people who did like the van tour and just like ate Taco Bell and just suffered
yeah,
for years and they never made it. And then I just like played guitar in my room and then ended up in this band. And I'm like, some of them like resent me for it, I swear.
really?
I can feel it, yeah. It sucks.
That's no. Everybody has their own different path. I think everybody's story is super, super unique. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel lucky. I feel blessed. I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
I know it could end like that
So
any day. So
was it kind of tough going into like that level that quick? What was like the hardest learning curve for you going into?
stage presence, not feeling stupid on stage. I still feel stupid every single show, man.
I wanted to ask about that because it's interesting, specific with stage presence and doing any sort of acting, that if you feel like you have to be almost more boisterous than feels even normal, and then go beyond that to where it
Yeah,
actually feels, it
yeah.
translates on stage because it's just so far
Uh,
away. How did you
Same thing
adjust?
for video shoots too. When you're doing a video shoot, you got to be like way more flamboyant and like boisterous,
Or
and
like
it's
the
like I'm
90s where
not
they
like that, dude.
did the lips that were
Yeah,
so over dramatized
dude.
with it?
I'm not like that. I'm very like reserved and like private and just like quiet.
So did you
So
watch yourself, or did you have somebody help you with that, or
no, no,
like,
I couldn't. No, it's just like a comfortable. It's a confidence thing. It's a confidence thing. It's an attitude thing,
yeah,
and I still struggle with it, to be honest with you. Like sometimes, I mean, it's funny because like there was a moment. I think it was the first show. I just did some move, and I was like, God, that was so stupid looking. You look so stupid. And I went back on YouTube and watched it. Dude, there's like 19,000 things of fire going off. It's like,
yeah,
and I'm like, dude, no one's looking at me. Like, this doesn't matter, you know?
yeah.
So then I started, like, it makes me like let loose a little more. I'm like, I can have some fun on stage or like whatever, you know what I mean? I don't have to be, I just, I always feel like there's a camera on me at all times or something. Like, I actually get this
Like
weird
right
thing.
now.
Yeah, it's just like right now. I get this weird thing when I play hometown shows where
Hmm.
there's like dudes in the crowd that like know me, and I feel like they're staring at me, being like,
Yeah,
this ain't the real you." You know what I
yeah.
mean? And I feel that like every show.
Like imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Dude, I had that with this channel too, that like I over criticize myself, and I'm sure you'll get this when I send you the content back. You're like, but then I realized that like nobody cares about you as much as you think you care about you, and I have
For
to
sure.
just like put it in a different category. Like even now, there's insecurities I have of like, how do I look? Am I
Yeah,
overweight? Am I
yeah.
asking the right question?
Yeah.
Is this translating? And I mean, yeah, it can be tough, man.
Dude, yeah, it's every show. It's every show for me. I
Yeah.
do something, I'm like, "Oh my
I
God."
think
Like
there's
I
still a
look.
point though that you hit. You're like, okay, I'm kind of fitting a group. I get this. I have to put this mentally into this category, and then also like I always want to be at this next step, and I always want to be at the bigger and better level. And I want the
Yeah.
channel, I want everything to be
Yeah.
good, and sometimes I forget to kind of enjoy the
Oh yeah,
moment
dude.
and where you're at.
Dude, it's usually like we'll play a show and I won't realize how sick the show was until like 6 months later or something, where it like clicks for me. I'll like be surfing YouTube and it's just like, oh, Falling in Reverse live at whatever, some show a
Yeah,
year ago, and I just like kind of click on it and then I'm like, oh my God, man, like this is sick. But like in that moment, I probably felt stupid or like Or I just didn't even think about it. I mean, to be honest, I kind of lock in when I'm on stage. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like a robot. Like you could shoot a gun off next to my head and I wouldn't notice it.
Yeah.
So I do in between songs, I do make it a point to like, okay, turn your pack down a little bit, pop the ears out, and just like look around and just be like, this is badass. Like enjoy it just for a second. And then all of a sudden you just hear 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're like, okay, lock in again. But like I'm trying to get better about that too, for sure. Yeah. Realize how cool my job is, man. It's very cool. I get to play guitar for a living. And it's
So
sick.
if you could go back in history, given your entire experience with these guys, or just in general, and you could erase one moment from your mind and relive that one moment for all the joy and excitement to be able to experience that newness and excitement the first time
Yeah.
again, what would you do? Not,
Dude.
not in a bad way, in like a good way, like this is the most epic thing. I would love to, I'm gonna erase it and just redo that.
Hmm. I mean, dude, the only one I can think of is that guitar solo moment, which is so funny because it was only like 700 people, or I don't even know if it was that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It was like such a small thing, but like, God, the worst introduction of all time, man,
yeah,
is to do the worst guitar solo you've ever heard in your life
yeah.
in front of all these people. Because Jackie was like known for being a shredder. He's like in Guitar World magazine and stuff. Like he's a legit player. So then I'm the guy, the next guy, and they're like, "What did you got?" And I'm just like, you know what I mean? And they're just
Yeah.
like, "Boo!" Like I think about it. I still think about it all the time. Every
Yeah.
time I see Albuquerque and Master Tour, I'm like,
Well,
they're gonna be at that show, still judging me.
what about on the opposite end of the spectrum? Like if you could relive the most exciting.
Paris. We played Paris a few months ago. Was it November, December? I think it was December 2nd or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, it was the vibes were off the chart, man. They went crazy. It was like an NBA arena equivalent. It's called Acor Arena. I don't know how many people were there. I think it was like 19,000 or 16,000, whatever it was. It was nuts, and they were just going crazy. Also, man, what festival was it? Aftershock. I don't think it was this one. I think it was the one before that. It was the most chaotic crowd we've ever had.
Hmm.
Just the amount of crowd surfers. I mean, it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And I was watching like the sets of other huge bands, like top dogs. Their crowds were not near that. They're not near that. And that was like a really sick moment where I was like, whoa, this band's big, dude. Like sometimes I forget because I'm in it, and I don't really think about it. Like
Yeah.
I'm just doing my thing. I'm just playing guitar and whatever. I really don't think about it too much. But then there's just like little things that happen where I'm like, this band's massive, dude. Like, whoa, what a cool thing to be a part of it. So the two that stand out, definitely Paris. I believe it was Aftershock, Sacramento. We're just like, I remember it was in between songs too, because usually the crowd's going a little crazy, then in between songs they kind of chill. Dude, they were still just like launching people, and I was just like looking at it like, yo, this is crazy. We also did Hellfest a few months ago. Uh, was that Clisson or something in France? And that was another one where it was like, damn, dude, like this is a different level. We headlined it. So that was a trip to see. I don't know how many tens of thousands of people. I can't remember the final number, like 82,000 or something like that. I mean, it was like as far as the eye could see, and then that way, and then that way. It was just like to the horizon, to the horizon, and we crushed.
Did it bring you to the horizon?
I love that band, by the way.
Um, what bands did you see live that made you rethink how you do live performances?
Well, my first concert ever was Van Halen. It was like the best one ever. So seeing Van Halen, seeing Eddie, and just like the showmanship that was on display in the production, I believe it was 2005 at in Louisville. Can't remember the venue, some arena. Um, yeah, I mean that set an imprint on me for sure. Where I was just like, wow, like this seeing him communicate through the guitar to the people, just he does this like the 10-minute guitar solo, and it's just like the sickest stuff ever. And he in my opinion, he's the greatest rock player of all time. Seeing that was like kind of changed me for sure. That's one that stands out immediately. And then seeing Muse as well. That band, in my opinion, they're the best live band in the world right now. I think Muse is. Like the vocals are on point, the musicianship, the guitar tones, the show is insane, the production, every single tour, they're very impressive. So watching them and then Van Halen back in the day was like the two ones that stand out to me.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about falling?
Biggest misconception. Hmm. I would say it's a misconception with all bands is that just the sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's just a fabrication. I
Yeah.
mean that stuff definitely happened, like Van Halen. There's none of that going on.
Yeah.
Everyone has like wives and girlfriends and like mortgages, you know what I mean? Car payments and rent, and it's like there's not much of that going on at all.
Yeah.
Very little. Like on this tour, I bet there's been 7 beers consumed by the whole entire tour package. And it's like the sixth show. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
this isn't a thing. This is not a thing anymore. Like I get those questions all the time from my friends back home, or just like, dude, what's it like? And I'm like, I wake up, we get coffee, I work out, play video games, take a nap, play the show, I shower, we go to bed. They're just like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's every day, man. Sorry. Yeah, Pamela Anderson's not on our bus. I'm sorry, dude. Or whatever, the equivalent of.
Whoever is the modern equivalent to Pamela
Yeah,
Anderson.
Sydney Sweeney's not on our bus.
No, sorry guys.
Bummer. Wish she was. She is not.
Um, who would be the dream band to fill in for?
Fill in. Like on tour, like tour with,
Yeah.
or me fill in for
You
them.
fill in like
Muse. Oh, you know what? Muse. It would be Muse.
okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I think in my opinion, they're the best live band in the world, so it would be Muse. Now, interesting, it would have to be only guitar because I cannot sing like Matt Bellamy. He's incredible. He's like one of the best for sure.
So I know there's a lot of guitar players who look up to you. Who do you look up to? Who are like your mentors in the industry currently playing?
There's a couple dudes. Wes, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's so bad. Wes Hauk. He's actually going to be here today. He's plays for Alluvial. He's currently with the Black Dahlia Murder. He's incredible. Spiro. Let's see here. Nathaniel Murphy plays. He works at Chicago Music Exchange and he does like crazy covers. He's like a really good friend of mine actually. We talk all the time. I actually just went to Chicago, hung out there for a few days, played a ton of guitar. Who else, man? Trying to think here. Jack Gardner is another guy that I look up to a lot. Steve Vai, of course, Yngwie. And then Alexi Laiho, who passed away a few years ago, was a huge one. That's probably my biggest influence on guitar. And he's kind of like very Yngwie neoclassical influenced, so like by proxy Yngwie too.
Yeah.
But Alexi Laiho was probably my number one, and then a guy named Jari Mäenpää. He's from Finland. He's a guitar player for Wintersun. He's unbelievable, unbelievable player. Those are probably off the top of my head. Those are the guys.
Last song you listened to or played that made you feel emotional in a good way?
Probably Champagne Supernova.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Usually I don't get too much. Actually, no. I know what it is. It's Somebody Else by 1975.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. That's
Okay.
the answer. That's the last one.
Wow.
Yeah, that song's unbelievable. One of the best written songs ever. I listened to that song. I went through a breakup a few months ago. It's just driving around town, just on loop. I was like, damn, dude, like that song's hitting for me right now,
Yeah.
which never happens.
Wow.
Just in that moment, I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Favorite song to play on this tour?
Ronald.
Why?
It's difficult.
Okay. Is it also the hardest song to play in this tour?
From a technical standpoint, yeah.
Okay.
I would say Watch the World Burn is overall the hardest because of the vocals. It's really, there's no break. So I'm just, ba, 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 ba. It's just like nonstop. There's no, I got to take breaths. I feel like I'm going to faint at that song. Because I got to like rap too. I have to sing harmonies. I have to do these like sweep picking. I have to hit this crazy high note. It's quite a bit. But on a technical level, guitar-wise, easily Ronald is the hardest and most fun. It's the most fun because it is the hardest song. Jason Richardson co-wrote that song. So he wrote the main riff. So it's like, that guy only writes the most difficult riffs of all time. So like actually that's another guy I forgot to mention Jason. He's the best metal guitar player in the world,
Wow.
and
It's quite the statement.
yeah, he definitely is. From you might have an opinion where you're like, I like this guy better.
Sure.
I'm talking strictly from almost like an NFL combine of like, what's his sprint speed? How high can he jump?
Yeah.
Technical level, he is the best guitar player in metal for sure.
Wow.
Like he's just locked in. If you have not seen Jason Richardson play, you have to watch his videos.
All right. Two-part question for you.
Yeah.
If there's a brand new guitar player that's watching this and like, man, I would love to be in his shoes one day, and like, what would be your advice to that?
The biggest piece of advice, there's two pieces. They're kind of like, it's kind of like the same answer, but it's like an A and B.
Yeah.
So number one is you need to be as good as the ideas that you hear in your head.
Hmm.
So if you're hearing a bunch of crazy arpeggios, and guess what? You got to be as good as that idea. You have to be able to do that idea on command. And then the second one, which is kind of the same answer, you have to be as good as the ideas that your boss hears in his head.
Hmm.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
You can't, you're not doing your best, you're doing his best.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I fly out, I mean, dude, I've done so many songs with Ronnie that I've never seen the light of day, but, you know, hey, hit me up, or you need to come out here and do a guitar solo tomorrow, or like whatever, right? I've never heard the song before. So I just show up, and then he's like, all right, man, watch the world burn. We did. And he was just like, this sweet picking part. And I want you to, and he kind of explain what he wants. And I'm like, damn, that's hard. That's like really hard. And he's just like, record, go. And you're just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I gotta have my chops up. I can't
Yeah.
just be like sitting around playing video games at home. I have
Yeah.
to, I don't practice a ton, but like I maintain the chops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I'm playing Call of Duty and I die and I'm waiting for the revive, I'm grabbing the guitar, and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm getting it in somehow. So that would be my biggest piece of advice. I think it's the most crucial, because if you're a guitar player in this industry, more than likely, it's not going to be a traditional band where it's like a 5-piece and you guys are splitting everything evenly.
Yeah.
It's going to be the singer writes everything, or the guitar player writes everything, or you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
going to be, you're probably not going to be the main guy. So be as good as the ideas that you hear in your head and as good as your bosses.
I kind of break up this sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
In like 3 spots, like right place, right time, but also having the ability to give them what they need at that time
Yes.
as well. And that's the controllable.
Yeah, and that has a lot of variables too.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to be good. You need to look the part. So that's where the working out comes in. Nobody wants to see a fat slob on stage. I'm sorry, they don't. Not unless you were unbelievable at singing, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can get away with it, but
Yeah.
like for the most part, it's like you want to look the part. You want to be good. You got to be a good hang. You got to be able to like, talk to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just be like an awkward guy. Again, you can get away with these variables. You can not have one or the other if you're like extreme in the other one. You're like the best guitar player. You can be kind of a weird guy. You're probably going to be a weird guy if you're that insane at guitar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to have social skills.
Yeah.
You've never had a girlfriend. You're the best guitar player of all time. You know what I mean?
That's all you've lived. That is your girlfriend.
That's your girlfriend's your guitar. Like, yeah, there's gonna be exceptions to that, but for the most part, it's like, yeah, you gotta look the part, you gotta sound the part, and like also, you know, there's this thing that I do with any job that I've ever had. I have this philosophy where I'm like, okay, if I go on vacation or if I call in on a sick day and then I come back to work and I go, how was it? I want them to be like, dude, thank God you're back. Thank God you're back. It was a nightmare without you. I don't want to come in and they're like, it was fine. That means that you could be fired and they would not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have any value.
Yeah.
So like when, like this, hypothetically, I get fired from this band. It's like, you got to find a guy who can sing and play lead guitar and like all, you know what I mean? There's all these things. It's like, I want to make it as hard as possible to be your place. So like, don't rest. If you're like decent at guitar, it's like, cool. Can you sing backup vocals? Try singing. Learn how to sing, learn how to harmonize, add value to yourself. Don't just like, when I joined this band, the drummer asked me, he goes, can you sing? And I go, yeah. And he goes, don't tell Ronnie. And I was like, why? And he's like, he's going to make you sing. You already got a lot on your plate. Don't do that. And I was like, what? That's like that. I don't have that mentality.
Yeah.
So within the end of the first tour, I'm like, hey, Ronnie, I can sing. He's like, for real? And I just like played some chords on the piano and sang like this crazy high harmony to Chemical Prisoner, one of the songs at the time. And he was like, oh my God, like next tour you're singing. And I was just like, yeah. And then that guy was like, Shouldn't have done that. I'm just like, dude, you're a wimp. You're a wimp. My value's up. That's why I'm still here. He's not.
Yeah. Second part of the question. So for guitar players that are in that club level or maybe just now getting on these tours, what are some things that you feel like translate from the A-list level on down that those rules still apply that they can also do that, what would be your advice to them that you are either had to learn or that you're doing right now that can...
Well, you got to spend money to make money. So like getting good gear at a low level, I mean, which is a lot easier these days. It's a lot easier to just pay whatever $1,200 for a quad Cortex and just have the sickest guitar tone.
Yeah.
But like spending the money, doing the like getting the right gear. You know, you ever hear that saying, what is it? Buy nice or buy twice?
Yeah. Cry once.
Yeah. Like, dude, just like I get questions all the time where like people are like, hey, should I get this Mayonnaise guitar or should I get this like cheap $600? I'm like, dude, save your money and get the Mayonnaise. Like, or like save your money, get the quad Cortex. Don't get the little line 6 Spider
Yeah.
practice amp. Like stuff like that. Like you got to spend money to make money. And you're starting to see it. Like a lot of these bands have like serious rigs in their openers. And it's like, good for you guys. You guys understand this. Because a lot of people cut corners. They're trying to take home as much money as possible. I understand. I get it to an extent. But like, you need to have the good gear. You have to have that confidence we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like I walk out on stage, I know my guitar is going to be crushing.
Yeah.
I know my amps are going to be working. Everything's going to be killer. It used to not be like that. Sometimes I'd like have a piece of gear. I'm like, hope this works.
Yeah.
You know, I had bad in-ears for years.
I feel like there's a flip side of that too, that like good gear won't fix bad skill.
No,
or
it
lack
will
of
not.
talent or not practicing.
Yeah, like when
that's
you
not gonna...
even like just, I mean, dude, just practicing on a clean channel compared to practicing with distortion, you can get away with murder practicing with distortion. Like you're hiding bad technique.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. Like practice does not make perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
If you practice shooting a basketball underhanded, then you go to the rec league, you're gonna get stuffed.
Yeah.
So like, don't do that. It's the same thing with guitar and all that stuff.
Well,
Yep.
I think one thing I do appreciate about you is that your mindset to almost being an athlete with this and having excellence with everything.
Yeah.
Whether it be your health, whether it be the way you play, whether it be your personality, and the longevity of being able to sustain this for a long time. I think some people think of this as like, it's party time. We've made it and there's buses and it's all of that. But to be able to actually sustain this and do it well and do it for a while, you got to actually treat it like a career.
You do. Yeah, you do. I mean, there's a lot of parallels with like professional athletes. And there's
absolutely.
always that thing where it's like athletes want to be musicians and musicians want to be athletes. It's like, so I do kind of have that. I grew up like playing soccer and skateboarding and stuff. So I was like super athletic. I work out. I take that mentality to this too. Like, not that I'm like I'm not like the most jacked dude in the world, but like I have been working out consistently. I have people hit me up all the time like, hey man, how do I get lean and whatever? And it's the same thing with guitar. It's like, there's a regimen that I follow. And this also, it's just like a mentality thing. Like, I don't take this for granted at all. You know, I always try to think there's some kid who's way better than me, better looking than me, can sing better than me, nipping at my heels. So like, watch your step. That's probably not reality. I mean, it is reality, but like, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, it absolutely is reality.
I think that way. Where
there's somebody that's hungry that wants to have your seat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel guilty for being here sometimes because it's just kind of like, I just come into this. So I'm like, dude, I'm not messing around. I'm trying to stay.
Yeah. I think it's also the right place, right time, and like that. A bit, you spent the time, the effort, and energy to be able to provide what they needed at that level. It's not like you just grab some random kid.
Well, all people see too is this. That's all they see. They don't see the behind the scenes. They don't see me practicing for 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
In the start and all that stuff. They don't see God, I don't even know how much money I'd spent on music up until this band. I mean, tens of thousands, probably $100,000 before I even got in this band on gear. Just like guitars over the course of time, strings, setups, amps, traveling to shows and whatever, right? Like a lot of money. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on and just people don't see this.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like, how do I get there? And it's like, well, God, dude, there's a grind. And I didn't even have that much of a grind compared to most people. Like I said, I didn't do the van tours. I wasn't like eating off the dollar. I mean, I did that a little bit, but like I wasn't suffering for years and years. I have it very easily, or very easy rather. So it's like, I don't take it for granted at all. I take it very seriously.
Yeah.
So I don't party, no drinking, no drugs, none of that crap. Like zero. And you'll notice like no one on this tour does that either. They all have the same mindset. They get here and they're like, oh, we're here, like we're staying here. And a lot of those bands they get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
And that's when they just
It's crazy how many people criticize the decision when they don't see the options that were also presented as well, what you had to go through at that moment and what the things you had to choose. But then you make a decision for it, and there's I get that with this channel sometimes. People are like they're hypercritical of that. It's like you have no clue of the context of
yeah.
any of this, especially with social media. Like, my gosh, guys, this is the best version of everything
Yeah.
as well. There's a bunch of stuff that goes in and behind the scenes to get to where you're at
Yeah.
now.
You gotta delay gratification too. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just waiting for like I said, like the people who hit me up with gear. Hey, should I get this cheap guitar or save my money? I'm like, save your money every single time, dude. Like for the most part, you know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate
Yeah.
your time. If people want to follow you and follow your entire career, where can they follow you at?
Instagram. I think most of my social media is going to be at Architechnology. So it's ARCHI Technology. Architechnology. That's Instagram. That's pretty much the only one I use, to be honest with you. I don't really do Twitter or any of that stuff. I have that stuff, but I don't use it. Yep.
Or come to a Falling Reverse show.
Absolutely.
Look up on the stage. House Right.
Yep. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, man. We did it.